lot of us get so caught up in the mistakes that we made in the past, but it's really just part of like the overall life journey.
Hi, I'm Michael.
And I'm Landon.
And this is In Their 20s, the best podcast for people in their 20s.
We just spoke with Nastassia Ponomarenko. She is a 21-year-old two-time founder, and she's very influential. When she was 18 years old, she created a fitness apparel brand called Nastyfit, which she grew into a 7-figure business. And she's been busy since that. A few months ago, she created a networking app for young adults called Connectful, which is the perfect place for Gen Zs to meet other like-minded Gen Zs.
And before we jump into this interview, make sure you are subscribed on YouTube.
Let's jump in with Nastassia to hear about how she launched her fitness apparel brand. What better place to start than the beginning? We want to start with Nastyfit, which is your fitness apparel brand that you launched when you were 18 years old. You've been able to grow this into a 7-figure business. We'd love to just learn again, like how you got started, how did you launch your brand, and everything that came from that.
Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you for asking. So I was 17 at the time when the idea came to my head. And at that time, 16, 17, 18, even a little bit of 19 years old, I was super, super obsessed with fitness. Like it was my stuff, especially when I was 17 years old, I was all about it. And that's when brands like Gymshark, it just absolutely skyrocketed. And at that time, when I was doing more like fitness content creating, I was really fascinated by them and their growth. And as any fitness content creator, like you want to get sponsored by Gymshark, you want to be a part of the community. They built a really, really great cult following, to be honest. I don't know if you guys have been following with that like years ago, but they've just been doing so well. So anyways, it was more so of like why aren't they reaching out to me? I want to sponsor their products. I want to become an ambassador, all this type of stuff. And so, that never happened. And I was like, screw you guys, I'm just going to make my own thing. So it was a mixture of that. And it was a mixture of like, I just want to create something that belongs to me that I can design in my own style. I want to be my own boss. And a lot of people go through that, especially because entrepreneurship has never been as easy as it is today, right? As it is present moment, right?
Yeah.
And so that's just something that I slowly started creeping into. It was a bit difficult because it's something that I was never used to doing, right? I was a senior in high school, so I was 18 at the time, I think, when I started reaching out to manufacturers, talking to them, getting samples, and actually investing my money into something that I didn't know would pay off, right? So that was a little bit tricky because when you accumulate a little bit of money, right, you earn some money and then you spend it on like, whether it be stocks or crypto or whatever it is, like your bank account balance obviously goes lower, but it's an investment, right?
Yes.
So it's a different type of mindset. And so basically, long story short, I just started the journey to starting Nastyfit, and then started shipping it out from my parents' garage. And then a year into the business is when I was like, all right, screw it. I need to work more on my business than literally in my business. So we got a fulfillment warehouse, and they now fulfill like everything. So I'm super, wow. I spend like only a couple of hours a week on Nastyfit now. But in between then, yeah, we've had a lot of great success with Nastyfit for sure, that I'm super grateful for.
Super cool. I love that Nastyfit, the creation of Nastyfit, was a product of you not getting that call from Gymshark though. So you literally said, fuck, I'm just going to do it myself. I want to be my own boss. Clearly you've built such a successful brand from that though. We saw that, through your YouTube pages, you've reached over 60 million views. So you've created such a great personal brand for yourself within this, which is kind of the transition to our next question. Just general advice when it comes to creating a personal brand in your 20s.
Ooh, that's another good question. I think my advice is a little bit biased because this came from my own mistake, and it's like not being true to myself. And so fitness was a huge passion of mine, right? But then it went into more of something that wasn't true to me. So when I was like 19, that was the time when I started becoming more into business. That's when I was becoming more into self-improvement. But I was still posting a lot of fitness content, even though it wasn't true to who I was or what I was spending most of my time on, right? I only work out like an hour a day, or now I do. And so I never wanted to project an image of me that wasn't true to myself. And so authenticity is something that I would really, really really, really push to do. Like it's something that like only post content that aligns with you. That's one of the biggest things I would have to say. That, and now it's such a, there's so many, some markets, some platforms are so oversaturated. So for example, Instagram, right? It's more so of like the pay to play type of deal, but now other platforms are emerging, like, well, TikTok is already, it's there, right? But thankfully their algorithm is more fair than social medias like Instagram. LinkedIn is also another good one that's emerging in sort of their like social status as well. You see a lot of organic growth. So I would really recommend to, if you have a skill or a type of niche or something you're good at, to really hone down on like, okay, what is it that I'm good at and how am I going to show this authentically and through whatever medium, whether you're good at writing, whether you're good at speaking, so audio like podcast, whether you're good with video, and just try out multiple things. I think it's important to also try out multiple platforms too. So yeah, there's YouTube, okay, there's TikTok, and then kind of cross promote those too.
Yeah, I totally understand. I kind of find what fits you the best. Am I a TikTok, or like how am I going to promote it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of gets us towards what kind of mistakes would you have or did you make back when it had originally started, and how did you kind of adapt to those mistakes?
Yeah, so the biggest mistake was definitely the lack of authenticity to myself. Like I was posting a lot of physique pictures at that time, 18 and 19, when it wasn't like true to who I was. And so that with that, there were a lot of like downfalls with it, I would say. And so, it just is a part of the process. There's a quote from Maya Angelou. I'm definitely paraphrasing it because I don't know it off the top of my head perfectly, but it's like, what I did then was what I knew was best for me. But what I know now, like, there's a different me. Like what I know now is not what I would have done in the past, So basically saying that like present me knows better and does better, as opposed to past me who knew what I knew at that moment. And so that's something that is huge, especially because a lot of us get so caught up in the mistakes that we made in the past. But it's really just a part of like the overall life journey. And these little like failures or mistakes are very micro compared to the span of just the average human lifespan.
And these mistakes that you were making, obviously it sounds like it was something, obviously it's something you have to go through, and it's something that you saw and you kind of adapted to. And as you said, when you get past it, you kind of think of it as, oh, I could have done this differently, or I could have done this differently, or I could have thought about this differently, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when you're thinking about that, what and you kind of look back, what is one influential person that you kind of are like, this is kind of who I look to? And I know you mentioned the one person, but who do you kind of look to as like the influential person to you that you'd be like, I want to sit down with this person and see what their thoughts are?
Oh, probably. Yeah, that's an easy one. Gary Vaynerchuk. You guys, I'm assuming both of you know, who doesn't know Gary V, right? Yeah, he's amazing. A lot of his content, especially in 2019 and 2020, have really changed my mindset and perspective on so many things. On money, on life, on long-term thinking, on mistake making, failures, just honestly, so much on hustling. He's changed my perspective on a lot. And the type of human he is, like you could tell that he's very, very genuine, and he wants to make the world into a better place. And he wants to take his level of self-awareness and share with everybody so they could change their lives. And I think that's just such a giving mentality. And he's super inspiring. And he's Belarusian too. And I'm Belarusian as well. So it's like,
that's awesome.
To be. I'm just kidding. But it's definitely a goal of mine to meet and become friends with him one day. Yeah.
That would be awesome. Great guy. Yeah, we'd love to, be friends with him too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know.
I think everybody will. Yeah. All right. So now, Nastassia, drum roll, please. We are happy and very excited to hear about Connectful. So you recently launched a social networking application for young adults, clearly because LinkedIn just wasn't doing it. So we want to hear about that. We want to hear about the motivation of like why you wanted to come up with this application for young adults, what you're looking to give people, the younger generation, Gen Z, millennials, because we saw you're up to over 6,000 users now. You launched in October. So we're just really excited to hear about your journey with that one.
Yeah. So thank you about that. Connectful is very, very, very exciting. And this came from my own personal struggle of not having any like-minded and entrepreneurial female friends my age. So when I was 19, turning 20, by the way, I dropped out of college 2 days after going there. I was super, super lonely. You hear about entrepreneurship is a lonely road and the whole lone wolf mentality. But the thing with Connectful and one thing that we're trying to solve is that it doesn't have to be that way, right? We're so accustomed to like, oh, lone wolf, I'm doing this alone, entrepreneurship, but it shouldn't be that way because like we are social beings. We thrive in community. Like for me, for example, I'm both extroverted and introverted. Yesterday, I had like not many meetings today. And I noticed myself yesterday, I was like a little bit down, keeping to myself. And then today was a day filled with like meetings and podcasts, and I like my personality just shines. I naturally get energetic when talking to people, and so that just comes to show that like it's community is important, but more importantly it's like the type of community. It's those, you need those like-minded people, because being an entrepreneur and like a Gen Z visionary, because Gen Z is our target audience, right? It's a different breed of people, entrepreneurs, right? You just want to surround yourself with people who get what you do what you do, talk and think like you do, and create that sort of mastermind. So that's the struggle. That's the problem that we're trying to solve so desperately. And finding product market fit is extremely, extremely difficult. And also we're hoping to raise a pre-seed round in the next couple of months, hopefully, because we've been bootstrapped for this entire time, thanks to Nastyfit, which brings in all the money. So it's been tough, especially as a solo founder as well, like looking for a co-founder actively. It's freaking tough. But it's the amount of knowledge and experience that I've gained and the cool people I've talked to, like beats that, I guess, by so much. So it's been a great journey, and Connectful has been a lot.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, we're rooting for you. We did download the application, so we're really excited to see where
thanks, guys. Did I connect with you? Have I connected with you guys yet?
I don't think so. No, I don't think I have any connections yet. So
Okay.
we'll make sure to do that after the interview. No, it's awesome that you're just really just someone so focused on trying new things, getting involved in different industries. You're clearly like a Swiss Army knife. I mean, you went from fitness apparel to, social media network for young adults to, we saw you're an author too. I think my biggest question and last question for me at least is, what's your advice for just trying new things, getting involved in these new things that, maybe you don't have full, didn't go to college for, or, don't have this mindset or knowledge base about it. What's your advice for trying something new and becoming an expert in that?
Yeah, there's a lot that comes to that. The biggest thing is to seriously just follow whatever you want to do, because with that comes naturally and inevitably there comes failure in whatever way that means. But there's a term that's like fail fast, fail forward. And so every kind of a lot of humans see failing as like a down, right? But on a macro level, it isn't like that, because you learn so much. There's so much experience, there's so much wisdom that comes through executing. And so that is one big thing that I wish more people knew, because as we all know, fear of just so many fears is what like haunts people and what really hinders them from becoming their best selves, one, from doing what they want to do, two. And so it really sucks because people never reach their full potential or even like half of it because of that fear. And it's just something that gets maybe not solved fully, but through executing, through continuously, overcoming that kind of mental roadblocks, you grow. Ultimately, you gain more confidence, And it's just something that needs to be continuously done, almost on a daily basis, overcoming that fear so you could become your best self. So that's definitely it. And this comes with all areas of life, like business, life, relationships, doing anything out of your comfort zone, really. It's so important. It's so important. And I'm lucky to have gotten some of that at a young age, because I think the earlier you start, the better you'll be, for sure, hands down.
What would you say is going to be your like next 5 or 10 years? Because we do usually interview people that are in their 30s, 40s, 50s, you know, and you're one of the first that are in their 20s. So I would just, yeah, I would just like to know what you think, you know, what are your next 10 years and into your 30s?
Wow. So that's very exciting. Ultimately, I mean, sorry, because like 10 years from now, I'm still, this is the Gary Vee mindset. And Gary Vee is like, even if you're 50, you're young AF. So even 30s is like, oh wow, you know, that's a great age to be in. So in 10 years, I mean, I have no idea where Connectful will be. Hopefully, hopefully the company will get acquired, to be honest. Or if not, then it will become something that is just bigger than I thought it could be. But there's a lot of potential with that, for sure. Definitely more into angel investing, for sure. I think that's definitely one big thing that I want to get into in the future. I think another thing that I'd really, really love to do is speaking, is like doing speaking events, because I feel very, very compassionate and empathetic towards young people, especially young women. So I just want to spread that awareness to them. So kind of like Gary Vee in a way, with that kind of desire to want to like not motivate, but just inspire other people to be better and do better, I think is so tremendous. And it's something that I really want to do. So that's another thing. Overall, just, yeah, those are some of the things. Let's see what else. I don't know if building businesses is something that I want to do for like a long, long time. Don't know. We'll see. But it's always something that's been super fascinating to me, and I've enjoyed the process of building. But I really like inspiring as well. But ultimately, whatever leads to my most happiest and most peaceful self, I will do, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, you're still so very young. You're younger than me and Landon, actually. So that's
How
that
old are
right
you?
there is I am yeah, 23, 22, yeah.
Oh, okay. Basically same age.
Yeah.
Basically the same, but
Basically the same
you do come in a bit younger. So I mean, the fact that you were able to accomplish,
Very accomplished.
yeah,
Yeah.
the fact that you were able to accomplish so much, and you know, in what seems to be such a little time, because you don't really start to grow until you're out of that high school area.
Yeah.
You know, it truly is amazing. So
Yeah. Thanks, guys. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, we're super excited to tune in and watch, you know, your life story. I mean, it's really, really interesting, just all you've done so far, and all the amazing things that you will do and will accomplish. 100%, we believe in that. So thank you so much for letting us interview you today. Share your message.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Landon and Michael. I appreciate it. I'll see you guys.
And we'll get connected on Connectful for sure.
Let's do it. Let's do it. All right. I'll see ya.
That's
Bye.
good. Bye.
all right.